I finally got clearance to talk about Storm, and I got footage, my review, and my thoughts on the character coming up.
Valley Flyer.
Hey, what's up all you Valley Maniacs, Valley Flying here. I am back, and today we are taking a look at Storm. We'll take a look at her kits, and I've tried her in the raids where she's supposed to specialize in, and I'm going to talk about that. Before we get to that though, I am still playing on BlueStacks, so if you want to support the channel, click on the link in the description and download and install it, and the channel gets credit. Other thing is there is also a link for TeePublic, so make sure you check that out as well. You get all kind of cool merch, good stuff, good people over there. All right, so let's take a look at Storm. Boom, let's go into her kit right here. Now this is her character model. I think they did a good job on this. Let's take a look at her actual kit though. She's actually, well, let's take a look at her stats. So her health, a little low for her health. Her damage is all right, very little armor. Resistance is okay. Speed 117, so pretty decent with the speed. And block amount, block chance is 0, dodge chance 0, and that is about it for her stats. Nothing nothing really stands out for me a lot. All right, so let's take a look at her basic. Shocking blow. And what this is it attacks primary target for 200% damage. If charged, in addition, attack adjacent targets for 150% damage, and that is the max ability. And if you look on the side there, you can see how the ability ramps up. All right, so the main thing with this ability, it's a normal basic attack, nothing too special, but she gets charged. And if you look at level 3 of this ability, you can stack up to 10 charges. Level 5 of this ability, you can stack up to 15 charges, and level 7 is when you can stack 20. Now this affects some of her other abilities and makes her an okay character into someone that has some really strong skills. Let's take a look at her special, Ice Storm. Now, right off the bat, I think you notice that cooldown, 8-turn cooldown, so something, I don't know, doesn't feel right about this move. Maybe if she doesn't lose charge. Now, I'm not sure if she's supposed to lose the charge when she uses this move, but in testing her, she does. It doesn't say that in the description, so she would be a better character if she could use this move and not lose charge. But this is how it ramps up. And at level 6, which is the max for right now, she'll attack all targets for 150% damage plus 50% chance to apply slow to each target. So it's an okay special. Seems like a very weak special, but where it gets stronger is when you have these charges. Now it says if charged, the chance to apply slow is increased by 20% per charge. So that could go up to 100% with just a few charges there. Additionally, 10% chance to apply stun to each target, and the chance to apply stun is increased by 10%. I'm not sure if that stacks, so if that goes only to 20% or it increases by 10% with each charged. So I'm not clear on that ability. I have not tested this particular ability enough to know if that's true, but I think the way it's worded, it is increased if she is charged. So might just go up to 20% for that additional stun. Strong move, but again, the cooldown and for what the move actually does and the damage of it, I think the cooldown definitely needs to be downed a lot, especially if she's losing the charges with this move. Now this one is the big nuke. Now this is kind of similar to the crossbones, the detonate. But if you look, if you don't have those charges, this is a very weak move. Attack all targets for 100% damage. Damage increase by 90% per charge, then you lose a charge. So this one, it does make sense, but you could get this all the way up to about 1900 damage, 1900% damage if you get it all the way to that 20 stack, which is possible in the raids. I've done it on both the Ultima 6 and the Thanos 3 raids. Unfortunately, the footage didn't record with that big nuke at the end, but it does some very good damage, and it did not kill the Thanos boss, but it did very well against some of the other boss nodes on both of those stages. So that was her ultimate. That's pretty much how I like to use her. Build up those charges, and while you're building up those charges, she's kind of a a detriment to the team because all she's doing is her basic, and doesn't really offer a lot. If we look at her passive, unless she's in a team with X-Force and X-Men, doesn't do a lot. Now, I think this applies to her because she does have that tag. On turn, 50% chance to apply speed up to X-Men and X-Force allies, which, if you're not using her with that team, it does not benefit a lot. Same thing with the chance to grant assist now. Now, who do you have on the X-Men and X-Force in the game right now? Deadpool, Cable, Wolverine, all damage dealers. And I think the main use of her will be to build up the charges, bring her in at the end towards one of those later battles, and just let her unleash that Storm of the Century, her ultimate move. Just building up. Now, for her to do that, you would need people that can protect her because she is a squishy character and will die very easily. Those aren't going to do it, so this passive doesn't really do that. And if you see right there, she's a hero, global, mutant, controller, and X-Man. All right, so let's talk about the character. Let me start with the good. All right, so what do I like about Storm? I think that she is a very unique character. I think that the devs did a good job in designing her, and I like unique characters. I think that the carryover of charges from one raid to the next stage I think that is a good design. I think it has a lot of potential and can be very useful, not just for this character, but for future characters. I like that charge mechanic that they offer with it. Now, what do I not like about this character? Well, I think for her, at least, for Storm, because her charges stack, and the more of a stack you get, there's not enough ways that you could get these stacks. Now, I know that it carries over from one battle to the next battle in raid, so you could get it to stack pretty high eventually. But it just means that outside of raids, there's not a lot of use for her. She's not going to get those charges up high enough in an arena battle or in a blitz battle or maybe in a campaign battle, just because the battles aren't long enough, and you're not going to be able to go through more battles. So you're not going to see these crazy numbers like you would in the raids. Now, I did record some of the battles in the Ultimate 6 and for the old Thanos raids, and unfortunately the big blast footage that I was saving up 20 charges for did not record, so I plan on doing that later. But it did pretty well. You know, when you did that one strategy of just basic, and then saving the big nuke that she has for the raids, because it's built up so much, it does some huge damage. I did it on a boss node, not with the final boss, but I did it on one of the boss nodes in Ultima 6, killed everybody there. When I tried to go back in with her, it was too hard to build up charges, even with her at max level, and even with some of the other characters around her at max level. She just was too squishy to really build that up consistently. When I tried her at the lower levels, the first few stages, she was protected well, and I think that is going to be your main strategy with her kit as it stands right now, is to just go through these raids, build up charges to a big amount, to an insane amount. During that time, you're kind of crippled because all you could use is pretty much her basic. If you use any of one of her other moves, her charges go away and it kind of defeats the purpose of it. So maybe one thing that they could look at switching is maybe that special skill. Instead of using all of the charges, maybe it gives her more charges so that you could keep going with the basic, special, and then just save that nuke for later. There's a few other things that they could do to really improve Storm, but I do think it has potential. But as the kit stands right now, and the devs did say that this kit, they're looking at making some tweaks based on some of the feedback that we gave. So whether this is the Storm that's going to be released, or if this is a Storm that will be released and then changed soon after, I am not sure, but I do know that they are looking at her kit. But as it stands right now, she is useful for that one strategy of just trying to get that nuke down the road in a raid, and not much else. But I do like the character. I just don't think she's that great. Where would I place her if on a tier list? Definitely not at the top tier, not in the middle tier. Maybe in not at the top or the second, but maybe in one of those mid-range tiers, because she does have some value, but it is very limited to that certain game mode, and that's why I wouldn't rate her super high. Now, she is coming later in an event. I purposely did not play the event because I'm not allowed to talk about it, and I don't want to be influenced in any of the things I say because of the event. So I will be playing through that and releasing footage and my thoughts on that later on, but I have not done that at this time. Anyway, that is it. I hope you like this video. I hope it gives you kind of a preview on what you could expect with Storm and some of the strategies that you could expect to use her for. It is a small strategy, but I think it is a good strategy. It can help way more than Crossbones, just because it's a much stronger AoE, but similar type of strategy that you would use as you would with Crossbones and Ray, just saving that AoE to the end. Yeah, so if you like this video, subscribe, like, and share it with a lot of your friends. There is a link to the Discord if you want to communicate on there. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, and I will see you next time. I got one question for you, though. What you gonna do, brother, when Valley Flying and all the Valley Maniacs come down on you, dude? Valley Flying, out.